Hi, everybody. It is 6:43, and the meeting is going to be called to order. My name is Cesar, and I am the Youth Committee Chair. Quick roll call on for from the committee side. We do not have so formally Cesar President, Brittany Reynoso not here. Nicole Lewis is here, and Karen Walker is not here. Uh, would Claudia and Clifton, y'all like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Cliff Young, and I live, and I live, I'm starting this neighborhood.
And Claudia?
Hi, I wasn't sure if you said my name. It's a little bit low on my end. I apologize. The volume is a bit low on my end.
Oh,
But my
sorry.
name is
Just
uh, my name is Claudia Scaccia. I live in the in Spoondyville, Riverdale area. That's about
Hmm,
it, right?
yeah. Uh, we're just gonna go through the quick version of our agenda. So, approval of the committee minutes. Given that we do not have quorum, there is no approval process. First minute, chairperson's report. I'm gonna be reporting back on the social media working group that is composed of Dr. Constance Barnes Watson, who is the chair of the Economic Development Committee, myself as the chair of the Youth Committee and the vice chair of the Economic Committee, Daniel Nunez, who's a member of the Economic Development Committee, and Edward Green as the chair of the Public Safety Committee. It is a new working group that was made and trying to understand as we want to reach more people in the district. There is a lot of things that we need to do because this is like a notably large district from Riverdale down to Spoondyville, Cambridge Heights. So it's trying to figure out how do we actually reach people in different areas. One of the tactics is the social media route. One of the tactics is flyering. We've been doing meetings in various parts of the district as the full board meetings, including our next and the last full board meeting was going to be at Wave Hill, but we've also done them at Vladeck Hall and amalgamated in St. Stephen's Church on 231st by the 228th Street. So we've been those have been one way, and then also trying to figure out how do we utilize social media, notably Facebook and Instagram, more effectively to actually showcase the works that we are doing and not just agenda settings because it reaches different audiences that way. How do we make sure that we also introduce multilingualism as we do these? Because we understand our districts are majority or 40 something percent of the district is Latino and Hispanic. So we want to make sure that we are reaching out to people where they are at and not assuming that everyone knows what a community board is, but like actually reaching people and showcasing what we actually do. So that is my chairperson's report. Uh, we are supposed to have presentations from Bronx Works today, and I hear from them. And so we're just going to transition to unfinished business. So for the folks here, the youth committee essentially specializes and focuses how do we support the youth in district in various means. A lot of those means have been like SYEP. We have been creating a resource guide for youth around uh, some of it's like mental health, some of it's like legal support, volunteer opportunities, and that sort of works. But also trying to figure out how are the ways in which we branch out and meet people in different areas. So some of the stuff that we have spoken about for the upcoming years, how do we support youth with resumes? How do we make sure that they also get some of the professional development that they need? How do we make sure that we support like continue with the youth resource guide? How do we continue elevating the summer youth employment program and work on learn and grow? And how do we like support and leverage and partner with some of the organizations that are already doing this work? How do we bolster their voices? So parts of the conversation that I want to have with y'all is what sort of like as we're doing the future planning for the next fiscal year or the next 2026, 2027. What are the things that y'all would want to see this committee do? And I know if it's your first meeting, it's difficult to be like, what do you want to do? But uh, it is one of the things like, hey, we're trying to figure out how to reach people and use where they're at. So if anyone has any ideas on that side, we'd love to hear those and then synthesize. So, yeah, any ideas? I mean, we also want to ask, how did y'all actually hear about this meeting and the community boards generally?
I well, I don't I am a social worker and I participate in the community board meetings where I work, Bronx Community Board 6, um, which was really my first time ever participating in community boards or attending them. Not a part, so I'm not on any of the community boards. I attend the meetings. Um, I've kind of always known community boards exist, so it prompted me to just become more familiar with where where I live and not focus only on the work I do. So I just sought out, you know, what is my community board and one of the meetings and got on the listserv. And so now I'm just been trying to show up and get to know what's happening where I live.
Yeah, but yeah,
And if
no,
there are
that's
ways for
very
me to
useful.
contribute to, my neighborhood and not just where I work, you know?
Yeah, and that's always one of the things where it's like understanding like how do we engage the different neighborhoods, how do we engage like specifically in this committee, it's like well we talk about like the youth in these neighborhoods, like in different neighborhoods, like in your perspective, it's like what are you seeing as like some of the better ways of engaging within Spoon Dival?
Hmm. Oh, sorry. Hmm. Hmm. I am thinking about the social service nonprofit nonprofit uh, sector, and I guess coming from that perspective, like maybe stepping into the folks that are doing the work in the neighborhood as well. Um, because they obviously have a vested interest, especially for like, youth and my my profession. I focus on family work. Sorry. Um, so I don't know. That might be that might be an angle to obviously you have Bronx Works to schedule tonight and they're not here, but um my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
um
Yeah. Yes, so to capture what you're saying is like one of the better angles. One of the things that we should be doing is understanding which organizations are already doing the work in their respective districts and the respective neighborhoods. I.e., we had Bronxworks, we tried to work with Cambridge Heights Community Center, done work with them in the past. We've had R&H, and that has been like good angles for us to tackle and to understand directly from the youths.
yeah, basically I think right there kind of a vehicle liaison to reach the folks that you want to reach.
Real quick,
What happened?
of just any ideas how you originally heard about the community board?
Well, I was in. Well, I've been going to the community boards in Coney Island a lot. I don't really don't come here. Like, uh, like, and I missed it on May 18th. I missed the community boards. So I don't know what an idea is. Like, so, oh no, sorry. So, all right, so basically, um, like, oh yeah, like we have a concert already, so, um, like I know the Juneteenth is this Friday, so, that's about it.
Yeah. So just a couple of through lines I'm hearing from both of y'all is that y'all were already attending community board meetings in other areas and are now going to the ones that actually is based in where you live, not just like where you work, where you reside, that's in federal best interest, and just a notion of how do we more actively engage with communities through either the social services, nonprofits, or just the fact that there are already events that are happening that we should be doubling down and engaging with as well. But that's going to be good for some of the planning that we are going to be doing for next year. And again, this is like a very short meeting today, given the lack of quorum. But if anyone has any other last pieces that they would want to say, uh, if not, I'm going to say my email right here. My email is caSarbx08@gmail.com. So if you have any other ideas, any future events, connections, or ways in which you would want to engage, that you can always feel free to send me an email. And we're actually gonna close this meeting for today. And the next full board meeting is gonna be on the 24th at Wave Hill. But apart from that, we will be resuming again back in September for the youth committee events. Thank both of you for being here today, and
Well, enjoy Juneteenth.
yeah, have a fantastic Juneteenth, y'all, and the rest of your week.
Bye.